deductible. So I would rather that come from the captive, because ultimately it's the captive's responsibility. I'd rather the captive do it. Pardon?
Isn't it the parent's obligation under a deductible?
Didn't they reinsure the deductible into the captive?
Deductible reimbursement. So
right. Yeah, they reinsured it they insured it.
It's a high deductible program.
Right. But they insured their liability with the captive, right? No, the liability over the deductible is being retained by the fronting company, right?
No, what's happening is if you've got a $250,000 deductible under the program, it's a high deductible. The issuing company want to know that the parent company is going to be able to make good on that, and so they're going to want some collateral to secure it.
And what are you putting into the captive?
And you've paid premiums to the captive for the deductible reimbursement program.
For the $250,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the funds to secure the parent's obligation for the deductible, you're using the captive funds to secure that for the LOC, to collateralize the LOC.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is, I think technically you can do that. Okay. I think technically, let me start again. I think technically the parent can put up the LLC. Okay, from a technical basis. I wouldn't want to have the captive's funds secure the LLC. What I would prefer, if you wanted to go that way, is to have the captive put up the LLC and have its funds, to the extent you needed something else, have its funds secure that LLC. Okay. But I think technically you can have the parent do it. I just think it's worse optics. But I don't think. But I wouldn't mix them. Have the parent LLC and the captive
securing the assets.
Yeah.
I can see that's a great question. I can see why I brought it up at this point, because the parent has promised the commercial carrier that they will reimburse them for the deductible amount under the policy,
right?
But has then paid a premium to the captive. So the captive has promised the parent that it will reimburse, in exchange for the premium, reimburse the parent so they can make the reimbursement.
Right.
But then the captive uses its assets to issue an LLC, even if it owns it, okay? But in favor of the commercial carrier, essentially, it's like a co-signing on the loan, so to speak, if you will. I mean, for the parent. So it's not loaning the money; it's just standing in front of.
Yeah, but
it's satisfying an obligation that the parent would have. I don't think the commercial carrier cares where the LLC comes from, as long as they have one.
Right, and it's kind of like a cut through, straight to the what was kind of like a reinsurer.
Yeah.
But again, I'd do one or the other. I wouldn't mix them.
Chaz, we've actually had that. We've had successfully dealt with by having certain insurance companies. Ace was one that did it. Added the captive as a named insured. No employees. It wasn't actually adding to it. Then they would quite happily take the collateral from the captive because the captive was on the policy. That got rid of some of that question. I don't know if that helps tax-wise, but it's one of the ways we were able to do it. Ace was very good at that. They actually added the captive as a named insured in the policy, and they were quite happy to get the collateral coming from a subsidiary that was named on the policy.
I think like Chad says, technically you can probably do it. Optically, it doesn't look good. Looks like you're loaning money back to the parent.
So what's next? Oh yeah,
these are old stuff.
Yeah. So